I know it gets complicated. You're looking through backgrounds, you're looking through classes, and they say, hey, you start with a burglar's pack or a dungeoneer's pack or a diplomat's pack, and it's just like, what is that? And why should I care? One of my players in my campaign recently told me that he unpacks his pack within his inventory. I think that is a brilliant idea, and most people should do that. Because like I said, what is a dungeoneer's pack? I'm going to break these down alphabetically, and I'm going to explain why a lot of these are things that you should actually hold on to. First things first, we have the burglar's pack. Now, the burglar's pack, like most of these, comes with a backpack. Don't tell anybody. Now, if that's not enough, it does come, and I'm not kidding here, 1,000 ball bearings. Now, you might get to ask yourself, Alex, who cares? They're ball bearings. Well, you clearly have never made a nail bomb before. And if that's not enough, you ever thrown a bunch of marbles on the floor and then tried to walk over those marbles? Also, monks are really good at throwing that stuff, and also, if you get into one of those campaigns where guns are allowed, you get a blunderbuss and pour a bunch of ball bearings in that sucker. Don't leave me to make everything up for you. 10 feet of string. It's string. Tie your shoes, tie up meat, suture up a wound with the remnants of the string, like get the strand. It's a stretch, but maybe your DM will allow it. Let's say you're on the high seas. A dragon turtle has just teared through your sail. Now, you don't have anyone with the mending cantrip, so you can't just fix this, and this thing's left you almost dead in the water. Don't worry, you have string. You get a bell in the burglar's kit. Not a lot of burglars use bells, but you get it in this kit. And now before you say, it's a bell, I don't care, combine it with that string, maybe shin level, attach one bell to the edge of the string, and when someone comes walking down the hallway or up to your camp late at night and you hear that ding, 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 ding. I can't do a bell sound. When you hear that, I guess the wizard would be very happy he didn't waste a spell slot on alarm. 5 candles. You know what this is great for? Those role-playing moments when you just want to I put out a candle and I read my book. Or I put out a candle and use it as part of my rituals. Or if you're a warlock, I drip the hot wax across the open wound. Something. Flare it up. It's a candle. It's Dungeons and Dragons. It's fantasy. Use it. It's not going anywhere. A crowbar. If you need me to explain to you why a crowbar is an effective tool for an adventurer, well, I don't know what to say. A hammer. Once again, pretty useful, pretty spot on. I shouldn't need to tell you that your barbarian can clobber someone probably pretty good with it, and I really don't need to tell you, boat scenario, probably going to need to put other parts of the boat together. Hammer. 10 pittance. Now, most of the time, the question is, what the hell is a pitton? It's a thing that rock climbers jam into the mountain, and their rope is attached to, so if they fall, they don't fall to their deaths. The pitton's got it. This is a metal D4. If I were to step on this, I would literally murder someone. And it would probably go inside of me. Now imagine this was made to punch through rock. Yeah, chuck those suckers on the ground. They are traditionally angled like this shape a little bit. You throw them on the ground, they're essentially caltrops. Also, you could use them for what they are and not take 10d6 falling damage when you inevitably fall off a cliff. Why aren't we using this? A hooded lantern. A hooded lantern means it's a lantern with a hood on it. You can make it light or dark. Sometimes we're sneaking and we don't want to have lights, but sometimes we need it, so it's dark and then you turn it on. 2 flasks of oil. Oil is one of the most important items you can get early game. Dungeons & Dragons. Not only will it increase the demand for the United States to want to give you some freedom, also, you can chuck it at someone, the flask, and if it hits them, they get covered in oil, and if they get caught on fire, they take an additional 5. No rolls, no saves, just you take 5 damage. Guaranteed damage rarely happens in Dungeons & Dragons. Take advantage whenever you can. You might get scenarios like this. Alright, you guys have successfully barricaded all the doors in the hallway. You've successfully used all of your oil and laid it on the floor down the length of this hallway. So once the guards are done chasing after you, you lead them here and they kind of run past and zip down the oil all the way down to the end. Alright, I like it. So, you lead them in the chase. They come down the way, get some saves. Alright, you do it. Desmond, what do you do? Alright, good. Barnaby, you've got the torch, right?
Yes, I do.
Burn it.
What?
I said burn it.
Alright, I guess I burn the oil?
Yeah. They burn to death. Wait. Didn't we need to ask those dudes questions? 5 days worth of rations. It's always important to have food in your system. A tinderbox. Hey, isn't fire nice? How often are you playing Dungeons & Dragons? You're like, well, you're around your campfire. Can't do that without a tinderbox. Water skin. Hey. Drink water. The burglar's pack comes with 50 feet of hempen rope. Now the diplomat's pack is a little different, and seeing as how it's 4 diplomats, it's a little less field-oriented. Whereas the burglar's pack came in like a backpack, the diplomat's pack comes in a chest. The chest comes with 2 cases for maps or scrolls. Probably gonna use these for spell scrolls. You get a spell scroll down the line, and you don't want your DM to be like, oh, well, you went into the water and you got wet. Ah. They're in a case. A set of fine clothes. Well, we all like to look a little fine every now and then. A bottle of ink. Cool. You also get an ink pen, so you can write. That's cool. Not a lot of writing implements come out in these packs, so if you have a very strict DM and they'd be like, oh, you write? Do you have a pen? You do, if you have a diplomat's pack. A lamp. It's not a hooded lamp, like the cool burglar, but it's probably fancier. 2 flasks of oil. They just give this away. 5 sheets of paper. What is 5 sheets of paper, really? And the diplomat's pack gold cost is 39 gold, and we're almost done with it. A vial of perfume. This is probably where a lot of the cost comes from. A lot of people don't use this. Once again, we're going more into the role-playing aspect of things. If your character is a character that wears perfume, that's awesome. Roleplay. Get those character elements. Put your personal flair on it. Wear the perfume. Sealing wax. This is completely different than candle wax. If you've ever tried to seal with candle wax, it won't work. Sealing wax is, well, unless you pour it onto somebody for torture and or fun purposes, you're probably just gonna use it to seal documents. Soap. Now, I know what you're thinking. Soap and Dungeons & Dragons, roleplay moment flair. Yeah, sure. Be the only one clean in a group of barbarians. I like that. That's fun. But you know what else you can do with it? Rub it along a stone floor so that someone will slip or fall. Or you might go to some places where this is essentially gold to some people. So, Dungeoneer's pack. We're going back more towards the field. A lot of this we're going to skip over because I've already covered it. Backpack. Congrats. You're going to be a lot more suited than the guy lugging around a chest. Crowbar. Hammer. 10 pitons. 10 torches? Yes, you get 10 torches. Where the burglar gets 5 candles, you get 10 torches. If you're going to be doing any dungeoning in this game of Dungeons & Dragons, you're probably going to want torches. 10 days of rations. These things are supposed to weigh 2 pounds each, so this is 20 pounds right here. So the Dungeoneer's pack is one of those, like, I really hope you're not using the variant weight rule because, well, this has some of the best stuff. It's also got a lot of weight. Water skin, drink water. And like most of these field-oriented packs, it comes with 50 feet of hempen rope. The Entertainer's pack also includes a backpack, so you're not wielding around a chest like that stupid diplomat. A bedroll. This is interesting. There's only 2 of these packs that have a bedroll, so you'll be able to sleep comfortably. 2 costumes. This is incredibly vague. A fun thing to do as a player, go to your DM and pick something. Don't just leave it as costume. Pick a costume. Live it up a little. 5 candles. 5 days of rations. A water skin. Drink water. And a disguise kit. Explorer's pack. Backpack. Bedroll. Mess kit. This is kind of where things break down because it's just like, so everybody else has rations, but this is the only pack that comes with a way to consume food. That's weird. A tinderbox, so you can start fire. 10 torches, 10 days of rations, and a water skin. Drink water. It also has 50 foot of hempen rope. A priest's pack. Also a backpack. A blanket. I think a bedroll would have been nice, but blankets are good. You can use those to kind of, give people shelter, comfort. 10 candles. Tinderbox. You're not lighting those candles without it. An alms box. You know what an alms box is. Free money! 2 blocks of incense. Once again, you can use these for role-playing, but ultimately these are also spell components. Now, if you have a spell component pouch, sure, that's nice and well and good, but, D&D it up, man! Correct me if I pronounce this wrong. A censer? For those of you who don't know, it's basically something to light the incense from. It's a thing that priests burning incense kind of swing around. You've probably seen it in movies where there's a scene in a Catholic church. It's a thing a priest has. Vestments. Congrats. You're not naked, as a priest shouldn't be. 2 days of ration. Why do you only get 2? Are priests just naturally assumed to be, going through fasting constantly? And a water skin. Because as always, you probably should drink water. Lastly, the Scholar's Pack. Once again, backpack. Geez, that diplomat's an idiot lugging a chest around. You better have a wagon, diplomat. A book of lore. Once again, you can just leave that saying a book of lore if you want. D&D, you will ultimately only get out of it what you put into it. Why leave it like that? Get with your DM. What do you specialize in? What would you be carrying around a book of lore about? As long as that's cool with the DM, that's groovy. A bottle of ink and an ink pen. 10 sheets of parchment. A little bag of sand. They really couldn't think of anything else to give you. Yeah, scholars, they like sand. Have you ever seen Indiana Jones? No, I'm not saying use that to swap out a golden idol. What I am saying is if you pour it on certain edges, maybe you can find out where air current's coming from. Maybe you can find out where holes are. Pour sand on it, see if it sinks in, see what lines or creases are formed. You think there's an invisible person in the room. If it goes over the shape of a person, there is. And of course, what this was probably actually made for, pocket sand. Also, Scholar's Pack comes with a small knife. Now, everybody that starts with the dagger technically also starts with a small knife, but yours is special. Now, I bet a lot of you wondering why I skipped over the rope. Well, I shouldn't need to tell you what to do with the rope, but I will. You can form a pulley system. You can anchor a beast. You can anchor a ship. You can make a clothesline if your clothes are wet. You can clothesline your enemies on horseback. Make a net, make a trap, make a snare, make a pitfall, tie a bunch of logs together to form a raft. You can make a tire swing. Granted, it wouldn't be cool because the tires aren't made out of rubber. You can make a normal swing. The limits and possibilities are only that of your imagination, and I really hope you engage it more than just simply, I'm going to tie up this bad guy. I was going to make this video entirely about equipment in the beginning, but this took a lot longer than I was expecting, and after editing it down, I'm probably going to have a lot. So I'm going to leave it at just the packs for now, but I will be doing another video entirely about items. And as always, thanks for watching, and make some memories.